Hello everyone, and welcome to the week 3 presentation for the Educational Leader Interview. As you can see in this bottom corner, this is the picture of me and the person that I interviewed. And moving on to the next slide, you will see that the person I interviewed, its name was Sarah Waters. She is a certified high school teacher at Mountainside High School. Her area of expertise is physical education and adapted physical education, which is for special education students. She also teaches mindfulness and runs an advisory period every day. Her academic background is a bachelor's in kinesiology from California State East Bay. She also has her master's in adapted physical education from Concordia and a teaching license from the San Jose State University. Her role and responsibilities as a physical education teacher is that she teaches 2 PE classes. One is adapted and one is regular. She also, again, like I said, runs an advisory period and a mindfulness class. And then she also gets a planning period every day and currently specializes in 9th grade. On the right side of the screen, you will see a picture of me. I am a student here at Arizona State University. My area of expertise is human-centered design, human development, innovative solutions, and education, and I am currently studying my bachelor's degree in educational studies here at Arizona State. Sarah Waters' leadership style, she explained that as a teacher, she finds that her leadership styles most often include motivating, encouraging, risk-taking, and holding students accountable. She tries to be all-inclusive and expects participation from all of her students, so typically she notices the wallflowers that want to kind of hide in the shadows, especially going from middle school into 9th grade. It can be a very transitional time period for youth, so she tries to find ways to motivate them into participation and encourage that risk-taking to get them more involved in the class. Our text said that the best leaders challenge the status quo in order to drive positive change in their organization, and I think that really heavily applies here. Being a good leader, especially for youth, really means taking students and encouraging them to step out of their comfort zone so that they can grow as individuals. For data-driven decision-making, as a teacher, the curriculum and activities are designed based on a general template that's provided to all the staff, and it states how many times to test students and the general concepts that need to be taught. Waters explained that teachers have creative freedom to determine the delivery of the concepts and the activities or types of testing that they use, and teachers are sometimes collaborative, but often their teaching methods differ and they don't communicate as much as she would like. The schools do provide that template of core performance and learning outcomes that are required of the teacher to provide those students each year. So Waters uses students' fitness results and compares them to state averages to determine if students are performing within, above, or below that average, and then encourages them to lead their own improvement by determining why they believe they scored that way and what needs to be improved. So for their 9th graders this year, they are having them create a fitness plan based on those evaluations. To design that curriculum, she uses that data-driven decision-making based on her students' performance of those skills, and it's often demonstrated in the beginning of the semester when students do their initial fitness assessments. And then she specifies the curriculum each day and each physical education period to fit how she believes it will support their development most effectively. She mentioned if students perform poorly on push-ups, that she'll include them in their warm-ups daily, and then that applies to every other aspect of her teaching. Some of the learning experiences that she provides students is those fitness plans, which each semester students are tested on their capabilities and then tasked with developing that fitness plan, focused on the areas that they notice they need to improve. Her role is to teach them the definition and key parts of a fitness plan, different exercises, proper form, and the understanding of what exercises build on specified skills. She also provides learning experiences of team sports, so she teaches her students a variety of team sports, the rules and skills associated with them, and the importance of team cooperation. So some examples would be soccer, flag football, and volleyball. And third, she teaches strength building. So Mrs. Waters teaches students about their anatomy and muscle groups, and then how to improve their strength, why it's important, what proper exercises and good form look like, and then provides modifications when necessary to assist students that might be struggling in certain areas. Assessment and evaluation of learners. The curriculum being taught in her physical education classes is based on their capabilities. So to assess and evaluate their learning, she performs those fitness assessments in the beginning and at the end of the semester to allow students to recognize their skills when they're starting, how they improve, and then reflecting on how far they've come and what they've learned. These tests include a timed mile run, endurance-based fitness pacer tests, a push-up and sit-up test that is determined by how many they can perform in a minute, a horizontal jump that determines lower body strength based on the distance, and then the sit and reach test for flexibility. Students also develop their own fitness plans as mentioned previously, and then their results at the end of the term of their completion of those fitness tests is also used to evaluate their completion of the course. For optimism and positive thinking, she believes that optimism is crucial for influencing positive student results. She stated that kids, especially girls who are inexperienced and vulnerable when learning something new, heavily rely on motivation. She also mentioned that most students are fearful of judgment from their peers, so it's a part of her practice as a teacher to use phrases such as "don't give up" and "keep going" as a form of encouragement. She also provides different ways to do things and shows students that they don't have to be perfect, they just have to practice, and this keeps those students actively participating. Our text mentions, in terms of career goals, optimism is helpful in work contexts as it can stimulate the determination to pursue career goals. And I think that this really relates to what Waters does in her classes, because if she is motivating her students, it's going to stimulate the determination to get better at those skills. In terms of advocating for others, our text mentions that education advocacy is the coordinated effort between educators and parents to drive systemic and policy changes that'll benefit underserved or disadvantaged students. Waters mentioned dismay at her belief that policy changes in schools need to be student and parent driven rather than teacher driven, and she mentioned that the way that she advocates for her students is by teaching them how to use their voices, as well as teaching them what's fair for them and what advocacy means. It's been shown to her over her years of teaching that their voices as teachers hold little weight to administration. So one example of how she implemented this advocacy was that one of her students was very set in his belief that their no phone policy was unfair, especially during free periods. So Miss Waters encouraged them to schedule a meeting with the principal and administrators, and when he met with them, the principal during their pre-service week was very dismissive and told him that there was no time for their discussion. So Waters then encouraged him to go to the scheduled coffee chats with the principal and other peers to bring those topics up again, and was trying to encourage him to understand that his persistence is what's going to make a difference. In conclusion, the biggest takeaways that I learned from interviewing Miss Waters, who is a leader in education, is that advocacy can be as simple as teaching someone how to use their voice and stand up for their beliefs, and that persistence creates change, as well as people of all ages really thrive from encouragement and positivity, and negative thinking is a driving force for failure. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I included all of my resources on this page, and I'm looking forward to seeing your responses.